Hello everyone, once again I am doing a list of 5 things I would like to see changed in Naval for 2026. To start with, I want to very briefly look back at my 2025 list to see what Gaijin has improved on, but first I want to thank you all again for all of the conversation this year. It's my favorite part about doing this, and I'm very happy that 1,000 of you have decided to subscribe so we can keep the Naval conversations going. Stay tuned for an announcement, as I'm working on making a simple Discord server for us saltwater enjoyers, just to hang out and talk about the current game balance, bugs, and other sorts of things. Well, going over last year's list, we had fixing server issues, which in general they have failed to do. The server still constantly stutters at mid to top tier and has issues with crashing, albeit the crashing is less frequent than before. The stuttering has gotten a lot worse though. The next two on my list were fixing spawns and balancing maps, which I will give to the devs. They have been working fairly diligently at correcting, although there is still a ways to go. They also have yet to incentivize spawning coastals in blue water matches outside of their very limited current capabilities. And while they have decompressed the lines and added in more ships, I think they slipped up when they added in the new top tiers, but more on that in the new list. Speaking of which, let's get right into that. First up on this new list for 2026, I have it back again as fixing server issues. While, like I said before, the crashes have gotten less frequent, the stuttering is absolutely horrendous, even during some of the lower tier matches. It massively affects your aim, causing very well placed shots to wildly miss, and is a huge immersion breaker when you're just watching ships jitter back and forth in the water. While the stuttering affects your performance in matches, the crashes manage to detriment you even worse. When your match crashes, typically all players are kicked and lose all of their boosters that were supposed to be applied to that match. The fact that it can possibly trigger crew lock for 5 minutes as well certainly does not help. I really wish they would improve on this. I'm kind of starting to narrow down what I think causes it, but we'll talk on that in a different video. Next up on my list, we have filling out the lines and decompressing them more. As it sits, the current 8.7 battleships are almost invincible to the 7.7s that they can see, and quite a few of the ships in between. This gap needs to be massively filled in so that they can space these ships apart more and level the playing field a little bit better. I would hope the added decompression and extra additions throughout the lines would also go to help with players' cruiser grinds, as well as maybe they'll see less battleships overall, or less of the battleships that cruisers don't usually fare very well against. If the BR ranging is an issue, ergo not wanting the top tiers to be 10.0 or such currently, maybe it's time to look at renumbering the early destroyers to 1.0 and subtracting 3 BRs from everything. Granted, coastal might need to be addressed more with that. Also, some more squadron boats would be nice to see, even if they are coastal ships, as it's just nice to have something that players can grind on the side without having to actively focus on it. Moving on to my third idea, for my third thing I'd like to see some faster bug fixes. The bugs in Naval are a constant pain, and it's basically a community-wide joke that any bug that detriments the players will take months to fix. My bug report shorts have been a great example of this, even though I have kind of a few of them at the time, as aiming bugs or other issues that completely wreck the ability for players to actually play matches have taken months to resolve. Some of these bugs even persist through major updates, and completely let down anybody who is excited to grind out the newest additions to the game. Besides beating the dead horse about bug fixes, my next point on my list for number 4 is also another repeat from last year, and that is incentivizing coastal spawns in blue water games. They should make it so the coastals don't count as one of your 3 vehicle spawns, or even give players a free spawn for them like they do with planes. It would overall give blue water players a reason to grind up the coastal lines as well, and would make the fights for capture zones much more dynamic, rather than how it is currently, with some matches being over quickly because only one team spawned a coastal boat early on and took all the capture points, and the blue water ships can't get there in time to actually uncap these points. Let players that sank or want to rush the caps initially Have some fun in the matches and brawl it out with a free coastal spawn, or with a coastal boat that they have ground for, and then maybe hop into their blue water ships once they are done with that. Moving on to my last point though, or my last wish for 2026, I would like to see the devs further improve on the damage control. I've already made a video on this recently about how I believe every damage control mechanic or change over the past year has just been a hint from greatness, as some minor improvements with each one would make them more realistic and would greatly increase player enjoyment. I won't rehash all of my points here, but I heavily think the new automatic damage control system wildly missed the complaints of the player base, even if it simplified the learning experience for new players. Granted, they could have just done that with a better tutorial like I've been harping on since I started this channel. I will link that video in the description though for anybody curious. But with that being said, this is my wish list for 2026. I really hope Gaijin continues to improve Naval as a whole and actually listens to its players' concerns. I do really enjoy playing this game mode, even if the persistent bugs can make it rather annoying. Also, an honorable mention to this list, please add in a researchable Des Moines class cruiser already. We have an event one, we have a premium one. You're kinda getting close with the cruisers you're adding in the game, being that you just added in a Oregon after the Pittsburgh if I remember correctly. So why can't we just have a Tech Tree Des Moines at this point? It's just something I kinda wanted to throw in there as well. With that being said, good luck with your event grind everyone. Good luck, have a good holiday season and a good New Year's, and I'll see you in the next one.